In Overboard, players assist a platforming protagonist to complete levels by placing platforms, enemies, and other power-ups in the level to reach a goal. Players are given an empty level with a starting location and a goal that must be reached. Some elements, such as pitfalls, specific enemies, and hazards like spikes or fire, will be present in each level and must be avoided. Players are given a limited number of platforms, enemies, and other augmentations to place throughout the level in order to provide a path to the goal. Once the player finalizes their platform placements, they press the play button and watch as the hero, an NPC, will automatically move forward and jump at every opportunity to bounce off of enemies or reach platforms. This makes Overboard a platformer that plays like a puzzle game, as players must consider how to best place their limited resources in order to get to the hero to the end of the level. If the hero receives any damage or fails to reach the end of the level, the hero dies and the player is given a chance to modify their placements before having the hero attempt again. This makes the main force working against the player the built-in pitfalls and obstacles that prevent the hero from reaching the goal, as well as the limited resources of the player to overcome them. The player will be given a variety of different platforms, some of which will be stationary, move up and down, or left and right. The player can select which direction a platform will initially move towards by tapping it after placement. Early on in the game, players will have simple components that focus on helping the hero bridge gaps and defeat enemies, whereas in later levels, the player will have more complex options made available that augment the hero's speed and abilities as well, gradually introducing the player to increasingly complex interactions. For the base build, having 3 types of platforms, enemies, power-ups, and immovable hazards each will create a small but robust palette to choose from for our initial 20-level design. Each level will be rated on a star system based on the player's final score. The player's score will be affected by the number of components used, the fewer the better, enemies defeated, and the time it takes the hero to complete the level. This adds replayability to levels a player hasn't perfected by allowing them to shoot for an improved score and rating. Overboard has a pirate theme with nautical settings and enemies, and uses a 2D side perspective like many other platform-style games. The level-building nature of Overboard makes it similar to Super Mario Maker, with the difference being that the player is building the level for a predictable AI rather than other players. Elements from Ultimate Chicken Horse are present as well, with players being able to modify the level after each attempt, but in Overboard, players are trying to help the hero reach the end of the level instead of hindering other players. The nature of placing level building into the player's hands leads to many chances for creative interactions. Players can place platforms as obstacles so that the hero's jump falls short by colliding with it, avoiding a fire or a set of spikes that would otherwise cost the hero their life. Other features, such as a time stop power-up, will cause the player to consider how long the level will be running and where enemies will be positioned, so the time stop freezes an enemy in the correct position to allow the player to reach new locations. Additionally, players will need to consider when is the best opportunity to use their limited resources. Players can place an enemy to help bridge a gap, or they may choose to place a vertically moving platform with an initial downward movement, but this resource might be better suited for obstacles later in the level. A risk of this design is that it relies heavily upon creating a reliable AI for the hero, though I am confident with an extensive computer science background and hard work from our whole team that we can recreate a robust AI with consistent behavior that players can rely on. With all of these considerations in mind, Overboard will provide a unique puzzle-solving challenge in a platforming environment to challenge players for hours of fun.